Good morning.
Morning.
Could you tell us your name and your branch of service?
My name is Kristen Henley, and my branch of service was the United States Air Force.
Okay. And what rank were you?
I got out as a E5 or staff sergeant.
Okay. And what is your connection to Southwest Virginia?
My husband and I actually just moved here. We came from about 30 minutes outside of DC, and we wanted to buy a house out here and buy some land.
How and why did you enter the military?
I joined the military. I was 20 years old, and I was working 3 jobs at the time. I went to college for about a year and a half. I came home, started working again, working those 3 jobs, and I just decided that wasn't for me. And I turned to the military. My neighbor at the time was retired from the Army, and he took me to a recruiter's office and signed me up with the Air Force. That's how I started my journey.
What were some of the jobs that you performed while you were serving?
When I initially joined, I joined as a medical technician, so I became an EMT, and I worked in a hospital for about 3.5 years. I worked on a labor and delivery ward, and then in the emergency department. And then I went to school to become a paramedic, so I applied for that application, passed paramedic school, did paramedic school in Tucson, Arizona, and then I was a paramedic after that. So that's where I ended up. I still hold my certification.
What were some of the places that you lived while you were in service?
So most of my time was spent in California and Travis Air Force Base, California. Beautiful place. I got a lot of experience there. There's a lot of great stuff out there. When I went to paramedic school, I was in Tucson, Arizona. And then from there, I went back to Travis Air Force Base, and then I applied to go overseas to Guam. So that's where I spend the rest of my time.
Okay. While you were in the military, how did you stay in touch with friends and family?
Staying in touch with friends and family was hard. When I was in California, I was 3 hours behind everybody else, so there was a lot of just phone calls or text messages. Nobody came to visit me though, unfortunately. And the same with Tucson. When we were in Guam, it was a complete different time zone, so that was really tough. A lot of the time when it was nighttime for the states, it was daytime for us. So that was really just more so text messages. And we actually met probably I only met my family once. They never came out to Guam, but they came out to Hawaii. So they met me halfway. But it was just really just phone calls.
Could you share a memorable experience from your time in the military? It could be something serious or lighthearted.
Mm. I have a lot of memorable experiences in the military. I have to say the first one is meeting my husband in the military. That's how we met. We met in Guam, but any of the other memorable experiences really just comes from a feeling of like brotherhood or companionship with everybody that was in the fire department, everybody that I worked with in the medical field. That's really what kept me going at the end of the day. All of the things that I've seen as a paramedic, it's really just about the people that you're with. So as long as you have a good crew, we had great crew in Guam, we had a great crew in California. So it was really just the friends and the friendships that I made. That was the most memorable.
Okay. And finally, what message would you like to pass on to the next generation about military service?
I would say to the future generation, with everything that's going on right now, the military does offer you a lot. And I would not be where I am today without the military, even though I may not have done 20 years, even though that was my intention. But even though I didn't do 20 years, I still have a lot of benefits. The whole reason that we could buy a house was because of the military. The whole reason that I finished my college education for free was the military. The whole reason that I have so much life experience and a great resume is because of the military. So you don't have to do 20 years. You can do your 4, you can do your 6, you can do half of it if you want, but there's so much to get going, to get your life going that the military offers. So don't count it out.
Thank you so much.